Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, new cash withdrawal limit policy across the country, with customers expressing anger over the new rule. In an earlier circular issued by the Apex Bank on the 6th of December 2022, the CBN said with effect from the 9th of January, the maximum over-the-counter cash withdrawal limits by individuals will be 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira for corporate organization per week. Withdrawals above this limit will attract processing fees of 5% or 10%. Let me start from you, Moji. This is your forte.
Pushing for a cashless policy. I think all the other parameters ought to have been put in place. For example, we don't have organized markets. For example, imagine my mom, 82-year-old, going to buy pepper. What is she going to use? In fact, most of those people believe in their quote-unquote colo system.
Yes.
Because the banks are not readily available. But then the CBN want to tell you now that they have agency banking. I mean, the agency banking are not yet widespread. You can't compare our banking sector to the banking sector in Europe, where the cashless the cashless policy has really taken root. And if you are saying you are trying to checkmate politicians or those who stash money home, it's affecting others in far more ways than it's affecting the politicians you are trying to target. The total number of agency bankers and POS operators we have all over the country is no more than 1 million.
To serve 200
million people. And all these things are all these agency banking are all internet-based. Now, during the Christmas, at the end of the year, just last 2 weeks, people were having serious difficulties transferring money from one bank to the other because the networks were congested. And so what do you say about areas in the local villages where the networks are not even there at all? Because all these things, I mean, they are all interlinked through the Nigerian interbank system and the e-transacts and what have you. So, for you to say you are starting this, at a point, it's the House of Reps had to actually caution them. The limit before was 20,000 maximum per customer per week when they first issued that statement, before they reviewed it upwards to 100,000 per individual customers and now 500,000 per for corporate customers per week, which I believe is still
per week.
Yeah.
Because
per week.
Okay,
and now sorry, on your ATM machines now, you can withdraw more than what it will give you is 200 naira bills. That's the maximum. 200 naira bills. They have been instructed to reprogram those ATMs so that you can get more than this equivalent of 100,000. For ATMs before today is you can take 150,000 in one particular bank from any ATM. But now, you can't do more than 100,000 in a week, which is maximum of 20,000 per day. And it will be 200 naira notes.
CKN, since we are not ready, this deadline, to put the deadline of January 31st and to put the deadline, to start immediately for all foreign currency change and everything, it's not, a lot of people will say that, no, they think the CBN got it wrong because of this timeline.
Why? The day the CBN governor decided to be a politician rather than a banker, I knew we were going to have a problem. And that is the fact. Since that time, I don't think the man has taken it upon himself to really sit down and take a holistic look at the issue at hand. Let's start with the issue of recoloring I don't redesign it. There was no redesign because people say there was nothing that was color. It was color we changed. A few days after that pronouncement came, the Minister of Finance came out to say, I was not part of this. I am not aware of this. I don't know what he's talking about. But the presidency quickly came and supported him and said he had the express approval of the president to do that. I know that was the woman decided to take the back seat, and I'm sure she has been watching what has happened. There have been so many somersaulting policies made by the CPN since this issue came out. Apart from the issue of 150,000 naira, 500,000 for corporate and individual account, I'll tell you within the last 1 week or 2 weeks, let me put you through. Towards the end of last week, the CBN came out with a directive, which they have not denied, that they will stop people from withdrawing new naira. The bank should stop paying new naira notes
only at the ATM.
across counter, only at the ATM. And you ask yourself, the one dispensing new naira note or the one that has been dispensing old naira note? That is one. Two, you said at the point they said that it's going to be only 200 naira note that will be dispensed. That was part of the first policy they came out with. Only 200 naira note. Now you're asking people that you are not going to pay, banks should not pay those new currencies at the counter. Now you are saying people should go to the ATM, which means that it's only 200 naira note that they'll be getting from the ATM. What happened to the 1,000? What happened to the 500? You understand?
Yes.
So what we can see that there is a big issue, and I've always said it time with them. I'm sure you are aware that the United Kingdom is about changing its currency because of the death of Queen of England. Now the king, they want to change it to the king.
Charles, King Charles.
That policy is going to take about 4 years to effectively do that. We want to change all our own within 2 weeks. Fiat. And let me even put this to you. You just came back. I'm sure some of your friends in the US must have given you some naira notes for you to take home for them. And ask yourself, there are so many Nigerians in the diaspora that have naira notes. Because what happens is that because they are coming home, they know that once they land at the airport, they will need naira to be able to pay for cab and the rest of them. And they have this thing. Have we thought of how to mop that this policy, just as Moji said, how will my mother doesn't have an ATM card. So if I want to send them, most of the time what I do is I can send that money to the POS. I say, okay, the nearest POS to you, go there and collect. But even you have limited the fund that the ATMs the POS can even dispense. What are we talking about? How can we be able to get this through by 31st? And you are issuing, as of today, you are still issuing old naira notes, and you are trying to mop in the old ones in the system. How do you do?
When you talk about, okay, maybe ATM, outside the country, maybe let's say the US now, $10, $20 from the ATM, you can see the value. So if we are going to be dispensing 200 naira, 100 naira as our highest denomination, what is the value of that 200 naira, Mujid? Do you understand?
I do.
As number one, our coins, if they still exist, they are valueless. Now, 50 naira.
I can't recall when last I saw anything.
Do you even know?
50 naira or 20 naira.
Let me even,
I don't see it as.
Let me even tell you this. Do you know that the banks have also systematically programmed their ATM to only dispense 10,000 naira to go? In those days, it used to be about 20,000. But now you can hardly go to any bank ATM that you want to dispense that. Why? Because they won't know that by the time you take one or two, the next third one you start paying the certain. So it is. I just don't understand why this rush. They said is one of the reasons they gave was that because of kidnappers. Are you aware that they say kidnappers are now asking for dollars instead of naira? Oh, you've not heard that. Mojit, continue.
No, well, you see, like CKN said, the day Murphy, that's Godwin Emefiele, the day he ventured into politics, that was the day he lost it. To the extent that he had the temerity to go to court to challenge the decision as to whether, when some people are protesting, that it can remain a CBN governor and still run for president. That was the day he lost it. So, as we speak now, he still holed up somewhere abroad. He can't come home. because people are looking for him. They say he's sponsoring terrorism. So he has a divided attention. If he wants to play politics, let him play politics. If he wants to remain as CBN governor, then let him be CBN governor and be the banker of a last resort, or the banker's banker.
Because he's meant to lead these reforms.
Yes, he's supposed to lead reforms, but then he's interested in the economy. You have to face one. It means he's biased.
And what's part of it now? Do you realize that we now have some paid agents that are marauding around and raising support for him, coming on national television, taking live television time to address pressing conferences
that they should
not be left alone and rest of the central bank governor. If anything, if the head of treasury in the US and the UK coughs, the whole economy catches cold.
Yes.
Across the globe. And what he's doing, part of what they are doing, is affecting the economy. We're already in a state where we cannot be able to do anything because I don't even know where to start. But in all this, as we're rounding up, AY, the only person I blame, and I'll continue to blame, is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The President has the power to hire and fire. In as much as the art establishing CBN makes it much, autonomous. But I believe that the President, if the President felt at a point that what this man is doing is damaging the economy, then you can be able to, so that we can be able to stand on our own and be able to face this issue. The dollar is still at hovering. When he came up with the issue, they said the problem was Aboki FS. You've forgotten. I'm sure you forgot. You remember. Yeah. He said it was Aboki FS that they were speculating and the rest of them. He went after Aboki FS. Immediately they dropped that. The dollar moved from 500 or 400 to about 750. What are we talking about? And this is a very seasoned banker who rose to the pinnacle of his career to become the MD of a new generation bank. To me, this man is the worst we've had since 1960. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, some people said he made dollar at 160.
As we are speaking, somebody is sending me a message.
Okay.
But I was at my own ATM this morning.
We'll start mentioning banks. We'll start calling them out because
she gave me old notes.
Mojid, I was at MM2 yesterday, and all the ATMs at MM2, we are dispensing old notes. But good enough, to a large extent, I would say that there have been one of the banks that I went to this morning, and I got new Naira notes, 1,000 new Naira notes. I must have been one of the luckiest. In fact, that was the first time I was killing. Sit down.
I told you. I told them that
I'm sure Mojid must have seen it. So, and I just walked.
Okay, I think you should show us something like this. Yes, but I've not seen other denominations.
No, I've not seen. I've seen 500. It's the 200. I've not seen. And funny enough, you know that they say that it's only 200 that will be dispensed
at the ATM.
It's 1,000 naira that is. You can't see
you got the 1,000 at the ATM.
Yes, at the ATM, 1,000.
See, policy somersault. That's what we call policy somersault. You say one.
The maximum you can get is 200 naira.
Yes.
Denomination. Now you are getting
1,000. There's no 200 naira. So
I think the CBN should not put us in a position where, I mean, we are going to have a bedlam as a result of this financial crisis. Because by 30, how many days to 31st? The deadline, the cutoff time is 31st of December.
22 days from now.
In fact, even the old notes now, banks are reluctant.
21 days, yeah.
But the banks are reluctant to start taking them. So it's not as if they are not taking it
out of circulation.
Even if you want to take your 500,000 from the bank, now you might have to wait in certain banks. So I don't know. If you are not ready for this thing, I think it's better to extend the deadline rather than cause chaos.
All right. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, President Muhammadu Buhari has joined the All Progressive Congress APC campaign in Jola, Adamawa State. Speaking at the rally, President Buhari made case for the election of Aisha Binani as the next governor of the state, while campaigning alongside the party's presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu. Let's share the story with you.
The ruling party is now in Yola, the capital city of Adamawa State, to present its presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to the people as well as seek support for the governorship candidate Aishatu Binani, the only female contestant in the race. Since the flag-off in Jos, President Muhammadu Buhari has decided to join the party's presidential campaigns. The Sea of Heads chanted songs to show support for the APC presidential candidate, the governorship candidate of the party, and to welcome President Muhammadu Buhari to the state known as the Land of Beauty.
We will get you engaged properly.
The flag bearer of the ruling party appealed to the crowd of supporters to vote en masse for him as the next president and the only female governorship candidate, so that there can be progressive collaboration that will engender economic development.
We will banish hunger. We will restore famine. Food storage will be there. We bring the benefits of progress, education, good health, welfare to you. You will have good water to drink. There will be end to killing and kidnapping.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who spoke in English and Hausa, stated the need to vote APC. To affirm his support, he raised the hands of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as the party's presidential candidate and Aishatu Binani as the governorship candidate in the state. He urged the people of Adamawa State to vote for all APC candidates for a continuity of the transformation agenda of the party.
Go to your constituency. Make sure that you choose people who are very responsible, people who keep you informed and act according to using the resources available to your locality. As I said, education, healthcare for our priorities.
The momentum of the campaign so far has been high, given the massive crowd of supporters that have shown support for the APC presidential candidate at the various states visited. Ola Awakon, TVC News, Yola.
Wow. Okay, MJ, the president, you know, after the flag off in Plateau, Jos, the president was, you know, have not been following them for these rallies, and the president decided to join from Adamawa State now. And from the press statement that came from Professor Skoyamu, is expected in 10 other states. And let's see the touch. Is it coming to bring his sure 12 million votes, you know, to the kitty of Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Is it still as popular as it used to be?
As a psychologist, you know, after the president spoke in English in Adamawa yesterday, in Yola, the party chairman now whispered to him that he should address the crowd in Hausa. The first few words of Hausa that Buhari spoke, the whole venue erupted. So which means
the magical touch is still there.
He is still connecting with the people, and is connecting seriously. And you see, those 10 states that were strategically chosen for the president to campaign, you see, APC, I could see that APC is very, very strategic. They know what they are doing. And you could see that, I mean, from the results of the last presidential elections in 2019, the Northwest gave the APC the highest number of votes, 7.1 million. 7.1 million in the Northwest. PDP scored 1.7 million. Now, in the Northeast, which was the second, where Atiku came from, Adamawa is in the Northeast, APC scored 2.84 million votes. PDP, even with Atiku, as a candidate, scored 796,000. So that's why you could see strategically, they took Buhari to Adamawa. Today, Buhari has been in Yobe since yesterday. You know, he's announced that as he was leaving that campaign ground in Yola, that he's going to Damaturu. Later in the day, there was a live coverage of his commissioning of the police, another battleground. So they are taking the battle to Atiku's something else. Bearing in mind that the number of votes that the APC garnered in Kano in 2019, they are not likely to get that vote again because of Kwakwanso. Because in the last 2019, APC scored 1.4 million votes in Kano. That was the highest. PDP scored 600 plus, but the dynamics will change now because of Kwakwanso. So they are looking at all those dynamics. They are working on their strategy. They are re-strategizing. But the PDP from Dubai to London, I don't know where Atiku will come back to Nigeria.
With what the National Bureau of Statistics describes as a multi-dimensional poverty level of over 133 million Nigerians that has gone under the poverty line, and that's like a scorecard for the All Progressive Congress. Yeah. But still, Mojid is still telling me that Mr. President is still very popular up north, and he still has that magical wand that he can use to excite their voters.
Well, we should tell ourselves the truth. The Buhari of 2015 is not the Buhari of 2023. A lot
in terms of popularity.
Popularity
has dwindled.
The president has been demystified, and whether we like it or not, there were a lot of expectation, and that is why everybody followed. Buhari have had consistently about 12 million votes, right from when did it start? After 2020, 2003 or so, and he has been so consistent. And we have to state it for a fact. The Buhari's vote as an individual cannot be in bulk transferred to another candidate. Whether we like it or not, let us tell us the truth.
That if it's not Panadol, it's not the same thing as
that
Panadol.
Is it. If it's not Panadol, Fesic is different from Panadol. If it's not Buhari, it's a different ball game. And that is why I disagree with Mojid.
I said the dynamics will change.
No, wait, I'm coming.
Okay, when you finish.
There's no gainsaying that APC is very popular in the north. And you can see that. It's a fact. But let us even go to the issue of, I am not a student of crowds. Why? The same people that attended this APC, you will see them at PDP.
Poverty is a common.
It's common. That is why I'm talking going. The issue of that poverty. It's the same set of people that are moving. But the fact is that then you ask the question: how many of those that you see in that crowd have PVC? It's not just having crowd. If you are pulling the crowd and they are not, you understand what I mean? So if you follow this issue that since 1999, I don't know why we don't have a female governor.
Binani.
She's the one. She's one of them. But I have some of the school of thought that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku, and probably Peter Obi, some of the candidates have already have one goal for them.
Okay.
Or if you understand what
just hold your breath.
Okay.
Hold your breath. Okay. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Please don't go away.
Registration for UTME into Nigerian tertiary institutions begins January 14th to 14th February 2023.
Candidates must check their eligibility before commencing registration, scanning the QR code provided by JAMB for the e-brochure and e-syllabus.
Each candidate must create a profile using only one phone number.
Simply send your NIN by SMS to either 55019 or 66019. A profile code of 10 characters is received by the candidate to purchase the UTME/DE-EP. Candidates can buy the e-pins from the banks or the vending agents through their e-wallets. Registration fee, inclusive of all relevant charges, is 6,700 naira with mock exam or 5,700 naira without mock exam. Candidates are not to pay any other fee at the CBT center, as the fee stated is consolidated. Direct entry registration costs 4,700 naira and starts 20th February to 20th April 2023. JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
My brother, my sister, do you know that winning an election is not only about getting the majority vote? For that your candidate to be declared winner of the election, he or she must secure 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all states plus the FCT to be president, and 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all local governments of a state to be governor. This is constitutional, and every presidential candidate has had to pass this threshold. even governors have had to make this mark to get elected in their states. We live in one country with different languages, religions, and ethnic groups. This is why it is not enough to have only northern votes, or southern votes, or eastern votes, or western votes. The only way to get elected as president or governor is by gaining enough support across the country and states. Let us make sure that we know now so that we don't cause an issue tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO.
Again, the ministry through the Raw Materials Agency's Program on Development of Dairy Sector introduced the technology of increasing the daily milk yield of our cows from meager 1 to 1.5 liters of milk per cow per day to over 15 liters of milk per cow per day. And I think that deserves because this is the essence of what we are saying. I mean, if you can move from 1 to 1.5 liters per cow to 15 liters of milk, I think that's really commendable.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
It's a new dawn for Nigeria. Oh, better days are coming. Better days are
to vote a man whom they have come to trust. Nigeria, vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC.
Bring the smiles back to all Nigerians.
Activist.
Thank you for staying with us. And while we were on break, the CBN director, the Corporate Communications Department reached out to us and quoted them, "We have enough supplies in line with the indent for the period. The report we have is that some persons are wanting to swap the amount they have, which is not the objective of the currency redesign. For instance, a customer brings 2 million naira in cash and expects to get the same volume in the new currency. If the banks accede to such a request, it will tantamount to leaving the challenge of excess liquidity unaddressed." That is from the Corporate Communication Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria. What we do is that we're going to try and reach out so that they will address Nigerians on this so that we know maybe they are going to shift the deadline or we are still working with the January 31st deadline. I think that's where we have problem because Senator Ali Ndume is saying that, look, you have to make sure you get it to maybe July for the people of his own constituency. You know, Julius told me that in Yola, the entire Yola town in Adamawa State, that just one branch of Access Bank, and you could see the long queue on the regular.
In my state of Imo, Owerri, you can't see any of the new notes to pick. You can't. There is none of the bank. The only bank, as I said, one particular bank, which I'm not going to mention, that have started dispensing even with and pay it back into my account.
One point raised by the CBN, which I'm happy about, is that yes, they said they have enough supply of the new notes, but let them at least make it available.
Let them make it available. Let it not be like NNPC that always.
Okay, going back to this subject.
Yes, as I
was left, Aisha Binani, you were talking about.
Yes, I was saying that
for APC to field.
Yes, for the female is a very good one, and in the north, for that matter.
Yes.
That is in the north, for that matter, because there have instances where I've said there is the need for us to also try women. We not just having women as deputy. What we've been having deputy. The nearest that we had was the former
Taraba.
Yes, Mama Taraba.
No.
Governor Anambra State.
Etiaba.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. I said that this contest, as I call it, football. I personally believe that 3 contestants already have one goal each. If you ask me what I mean, can take away APC. I may be wrong. I'm not saying that others are not doing well. Any candidate that can take away the presidential result from APC, where Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from, Lagos. You go to Adamawa, it will be foolhardy and near impossible. I'm not saying it's not possible for Atiku as the presidential candidate of PDP to lose the state. Not that it's not possible. But to a large extent,
it will be another battleground state.
No, what we call upsetting football now.
Okay.
It's like Leicester City beating Arsenal now. I know some Arsenal people. Some Arsenal people. That is it. Then, in Anambra State, there is a possibility that P2B, despite that you have an ABGA governor or government in Anambra State,
who is not supporting
for anybody to beat him in Anambra State. Kano is neither here nor there. That is where the problem is. I cannot categorically come here and say that Kwakwanso is going to win Kano, because APC is very, very popular in Kano. No, PDP is also popular.
Kano will be split.
You know, that PDP is also popular in Kano. So Kano will be split among the battleground to be a battleground state. So, but I'm happy that you are seeing the president coming out now to be able to campaign for the...
That's Papa Mongoro,
yeah.
Senator, the former governor of Adamawa State. Yes, Murtala Nyako.
So, it is going to be battle royal. But good enough.
A godfather in Adamawa politics.
My only issue here is that why did the president choose just 10 states? He has his reasons. I would have expected that the president would have followed the candidate of his state. Said they must have their reasons to choose those 10 states. But let us not be deceived. And I want to, because there was this, was it? I think it was Moji State. I think it was Moji Ekiti. Some time ago that we saw a governor that has so much crowd before an election, and at the end of it, he knows who I'm talking. I'm not going to mention anybody's name. The crowd was so much that I thought that Ekiti has already gone to conquer. Only for us to see the result the next week. In fact, I was arguing with certain people, say, keep quiet, you're not in a Lagos boy. We don't know what is happening. We now saw the result when the election was held the next week, and we are all shocked that on that party won.
So, in the next 48 days?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, really.
All right. Moving on now, kidnappers who abducted 31 persons at the Tom Ikimi Ekehe train station in Igueben, Edo State, have demanded 20 million naira ransom for each of the 31 victims, totaling 620 million naira. Meanwhile, the Edo State government has announced that the rescue of 6 of the 31 train passengers abducted on Saturday by Igueben local government area of the states. Let's talk about this rescue.
Yeah. When I hear about rescues, I'm a bit circumspect. No, I'm a bit circumspect because these kidnappers are reaching out to the individual families. And in the case of the Abuja train bombing and kidnapping, the Abuja Kaduna incident, it is the families of those victims that negotiated before the federal government came after about 2 months to do a bulk negotiation for the rest. So, I mean, in this instance, the 6 people that have been rescued, quote and unquote.
We're not sure if they negotiated with their family or they were actually rescued.
Because from the stories we have read, even the police the kidnappers were asking for 20 million ransom on each of the 31.
20 million.
Yeah, if you multiply that, it's not as if they are saying, give us 620 million buck. No, they are calling the individual families to ask them for 20 million. And they told all the victims that, I mean, the 20 million is not negotiable per head. So, because the police PPRO in Edo State said it's not aware that it could not confirm the 20 million ransom as at this after 6 people were actually rescued. They said now the number of people in captivity has reduced to 25. I mean, it will be good news. The Edo governor or government should do more in collaboration with security operatives because there seems to be more politicking going on in Edo than than governance. So the governor should come out and really talk and address the people because yes, I saw Philip Shuaibu there yesterday when it happened. I mean, talking to addressing people and assuring them of their safety. But we need to do more. That's Tomikimi train station is too desolate. And with what happened in Abuja, by now all the major stops of the train stations, even the ones in the southwest, especially from Lagos to Ibadan, the stops in Abeokuta, these ones that are not in town should have been fortified. We should not wait for things like this to happen before we start thinking of beefing up those train stations. I saw that train station, it's very desolate.
Yes, AY. For me, it's like lightning striking twice on the same spot. That's what we're having. Barely 1 year after the Abuja-Kaduna rail attack, we had another one in Edo State. The difference now is that while the former was derailed, the train was derailed, and the people were captured, these ones were captured at the station. Yes, before they even board. Anyway, I don't know whether you know that we have a commissioner of police in charge of railway. You may be hearing for the first time. My research has shown that we have a commissioner of police specifically
that's across the country.
That is in charge.
What's he still doing there?
That is in charge of the railway. Is a lady.
No, you are very correct, because we have a commissioner of police in charge of ports.
Yes, we have a commissioner of police in charge of railway.
Yeah.
And the question you ask yourself, what has the commissioner been doing? That is one. Two, we also look at it from the point that, do we have enough policemen to man all our critical infrastructure across Nigeria? That's a fundamental question. How many policemen
there would VIPs?
I know, you know what now happened. That is why we have been advocating for state policing, for community policing. Some of these critical infrastructures, like the community policing, people from that area can be able to handle that.
That's why I called out the governor of
let's take this break. We'll be right back. We'll discuss more after this timeout.
For the first time, we have a formal sector that is exporting gold out of Nigeria and paying royalties. Within 3 months of operation, they were able to pay ₦1 billion in royalty to Nigerian government. This had never happened before. Most of the operations were artisanal, small scale, or outright illegal activity. So government was not gaining anything. So we were able to create a lot of jobs through that.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
Our country one better. Nigeria one better. Who go do one for us?
Yeah, so people of Nigeria, they jolly for the better we want shele for we country. So as they ready to vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as the next president of Nigeria, I ain't get the experience where you go fit use take make our country better. People of Nigeria, for this and many other better things where in don't vocalize, it good make we all vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Ashim Shetima as vice president. Vote APC. You will need
Thank you for staying with us. We're talking Commissioner of Police for Nigeria Railways.
We have a dedicated AY. My research has shown me that we have a dedicated police commissioner for the railway. And the question I asked, what has he been doing? That is on one point, as I was saying before we went on break. That is the name, right? That's good. So I'm right. Now,
so you asked the question, is that department funded from the police or the Nigerian Railway Corporation?
I don't care whether it was funded or not. If it's not funded, why is she not crying? If the person not wait, no, relax. Relax. When you are talking of funding, what do you mean? We have the Nigerian Railway.
It's just like the flight of National Orientation Agency. A lot of people will say, where's NOA? Where's NOA? But if you want to know what is wrong with NOA,
until we stop giving excuses, for public officers, then that becomes an issue. Let me land. Now you are just knowing that as a commissioner of police. But where I was going wasn't even the issue of the police. What I'm saying that the issue of community policing, state police at war already. Now, why have you asked yourself, why is it that the Southwest is the safest in the whole of Nigeria? You can attribute that to police, but the issue of Amotekun comes to play.
No, I'm actually coming to that.
Amotekun comes to play. Let me give you a classical example. You know that for 4 years I was shuttling the Lagos, Lagos Ibadan every week
at a lead city,
for my law program. There got a point last year that was having serious kidnapping on that route, and people crowd out. What happened?
Every five
kilometers you must see Amotekun or police or military on that stretch. Yes,
Lagos. That's why I'm calling
telling you,
governor of Edo State.
This is what is happening. I'm not just saying. This is what I've witnessed
to the
Southwest. So the Southwest
commissioners
now,
of police and governors.
Rounding it up, we're supposed to have Ebubago from the Southeast. We are supposed to have Ebubago in the Southeast. But what are our governors doing? They are using their own to victimize political opponents, to arrest them. In fact, one particular state is so notorious for that. And you ask yourself, how did we get there? So if we have the political will and have the wherewithal, irrespective of funds, with AY, most of the police activities are funded by the state. It's not even federal. We know what is happening in Lagos, the number of vehicles that you see governors buying for each of the police.
Sorry, the last major activity of the Commissioner of Police in charge of Railway, November last year a move to eject 200 families from the Lagos barracks.
Okay, you see,
rather than provide safety on the rail
or concentrate on the rail lines
or the stations, ejecting 200 families from Lagos.
Does that what does the fund have to do with that, AY?
All right. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned that the 2023 general elections faces serious threats of cancellation if the waves of insecurity in parts of the country fails to improve. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, represented by the chairman of the board of Electoral Institute, Professor Abdullahi Zuru, gave the warning on Monday in Abuja at the validation of the election security training resources. The chairman said the commission is not leaving anything to chances in ensuring that intensive and extensive security is provided for election personnel, materials, and processes. Gentlemen, we normally have this every 4 years. Some weeks to the election, somebody will go to Chatham House or a national security advisor, if you remember, pre-2015, to go and set an agenda, and it will just, okay, this is not the INEC chairman now. Somebody representing the INEC chairman. So something is brewing. So as we are counting down to 48 days to the election, we know that, we know the pattern.
It's rather unfortunate that we are getting to this cycle. You know that in 2015, the election was postponed because of insecurity. I knew that it was like we postponed 2019 too, for some days. I can't remember now.
No, on the day of election, yes, because of materials and everything.
That is what I'm saying, that it was also postponed. So coming from the chairman of INEC, and I won't begrudge him, but I will say that we are far better in terms of security as we are today compared to what we had in 2015. There will be pockets of resistance, burning of INEC offices, there have been some level of insecurity here and there, but that in itself is not enough for us to be able to postpone this election. No, it is. I totally disagree with him. And good enough, today there's a press statement from the federal government today, I'm sure probably not seen it, that the election will hold. Yes, sacrosanct. I know that I've seen that. I've seen that in my mailbox, which we're going to publish on CKN later today. But the federal government has already, there's a statement from the government that election would hold. But that notwithstanding, we should also take the issue of security very, very important. Very, very key.
If you look at the body language of Mr. President, it's as if he's in a hurry to leave the villa. So saying the election or to add one more day will not, you can't even think of it.
You know, we should realize that the election is not only in the hands of INEC. INEC needs the support of the security agencies. And while they are while they are saying that, they are actually citing security issues, not logistics now, as an impediment to the free conduct of the elections. Like in the last 1 year, more than 50 INEC offices, or rather 50 incidents of the attacks on INEC offices, with the highest, 11 in my brother's state. Maybe you should help us beg your people to stop attacking.
We've been begging them.
So,
no. None was born in my local government.
Surprisingly, in some localized situations, Oshun, 7 INEC offices were attacked in Oshun, while the latest one being in Ede, while also in Ogun State. One was
seems to be a pattern.
Attacked. So I said, we have INEC offices. We have INEC offices in the 774 local governments. What does it take us to deploy security there? We know people are after this. Then beef up security in these areas. If we really are sure that we want to hold these elections, like a friend of mine will say, you know, he speaks impeccable English, Bamidele Johnson, but no, when he really wants to get your attention, he will say, MJ, what is doing us in this country? Instead of what is our problem? Say, Kilonchewa, what is doing us? We have 4 years to prepare for these elections. Yet, at the eve of the election, because as far as I'm concerned, we are at the eve of the election, start having doubts whether the election will hold, whether it will be postponed, and some people will be throwing a bomb made of bread into INEC offices. But I'm happy that I think some of the characters were arrested in Imo the last 2 weeks when they bombed the INEC office in one of the local governments there. I think they should be interrogated to find out who their sponsors are, so that we can put a check to this, so that we can have a free conduct of the free and fair elections come next month.
What do you see, read 45 days, what do you read between the lines? Do you see this as the handiwork of 50 columnists or political parties or political actors that want to halt the election, that, you know, they don't want the conduct of that election?
Why? The introduction of beavers is the game changer. We are no longer carrying ballot boxes around. You don't see people going and stopping ballot boxes and using and shooting. Now everything has been digitalized. Because of that, some politicians have come to realize that they will not be able to make it.
There's no shortcut.
There's no shortcut
so
again.
Rather the election
so rather the election not hold at all, especially within their areas. That is why you see them going around and burning certain things. There might also be some political motives, like in my own state of humor. I don't think that is just basically because of politicians not wanting to vote. There's also some political undertone to it. Don't forget that some people over the months, some people in the Southeast have been saying that we don't want election. Some people are just out to cause trouble. But the fact remains is that I believe that the DSS, the police, they should be on top of it and give all the. You know why? Why we've had successful election is starting states, Ekiti, Oshun, and some of these things. It's because we deploy enough, so massively, 32,000. You cannot mobilize 32,000 policemen to a state, to about how many? About 30 states.
Yeah. No.
How many? In fact, by the time you mobilize that, there will be nobody guiding Aso Rock. So it will not be as easy as that. But I also believe that INEC should also have some level of interface, especially with the communities, where most of these things are going to, the election is going to take place, so that we can have a very, very peaceful. But for the election to postpone, no way. We're having that election.
Thank you for your contribution, Chris Kende Wandu.
Thank you very much.
Mojit Jamiu.
Thank you.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Osubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Introducing the new Pressure King Pro from ShopX TV. The amazing 14-in-1 digital pressure cooker that saves you time and money. Want to cook proper meals but can hardly find the time? We all have busy schedules, but hurried lifestyles means meals on the run, maybe even whole weeks with too much processed or fast foods. The amazing ShopX 14-in-1 digital pressure cooker cooks up to 90% faster than conventional appliances. And because it cooks so much faster, you're not just saving time, but saving money too. Cooking a whole chicken in the Pressure King Pro could use up to 6 times less electricity than the average oven, saving you time and cash. This delicious chicken pepper soup could take 1 hour in conventional cookware, but with the Pressure King Pro, you'll cook it in just 15 minutes. This mouth-watering jollof rice is cooked in just 10 minutes in the Pressure King Pro, so you really can make fresh traditional meals for your family with ease. This delicious mixed bean porridge was made with fresh ingredients in just 30 minutes. Now that is fast food. Pressure King Pro is the one-pot solution that cooks hundreds of different healthy meals and does the job of so many different appliances. It's a pressure cooker, slow cooker, rice cooker, and a steamer all rolled into one. And with its digital control, you don't even need to be a chef to make exciting meals. You can even saute with no need for pots and pans on your gas cooker. It's perfect for browning meat and vegetables. Just press the button and walk away for perfect meals every single time. From jollof rice, goat meat asu, scrumptious side dishes, lamb chops, roasted chicken, the Pressure King Pro does the hard work for you to take the pressure out of meal times. You just set it and walk away.
The Pressure King Pro is God-sent, and my family loves every meal I prepare with it. It is a one-pot wonder that makes cooking so easy. Now I can prepare fresh meals for my family in minutes.
I love my Pressure King Pro. It's a life-changing product that has saved me so much time. My favorite thing about it is so easy, it's quick, the food that comes out of it, delicious, and it feeds the entire family. My mother-in-law can't believe how good my food tastes.
You could be paying over 350,000 naira for a complicated collection of cookware that takes time to cook and also takes up so much space on your countertop. But for a limited time only, call the number on your screen now and get the multi-function Pressure King Pro for just 94,950 naira. But wait, that's not all. Call now and we will deliver the ShopX Pressure King Pro straight to your door with no delivery charge. So call now while stocks last. The preceding was a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it.
Thanks for joining us on TVC News at 6. Let's begin with security, where some suspected bandits have killed 7 officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Beningwari local government area of Kaduna State. It was gathered that slain officers were ambushed alongside 5 other persons from a sister security agency and local security service. The NSCDC, while confirming the incident, said the bandits carted away the rifle of the slain operatives, and their remains have been recovered and deposited at the Barao Diko Hospital in Kaduna. The Commandant General of the Corps, Abubakar Audi, described the attack as a big loss to the Corps, the families of the slain victims, and the nation. And as after the abductors of the retired Army Colonel Rabiu Garuba Yanduto and his 2 children demanded 5 million naira ransom for their release, the victims have now regained freedom. The victims spent 10 days in the hands of their captors before regaining freedom today. Colonel Yanduto and his children were ambushed by bandits and whisked away to an unknown destination on 1st January along Gusau Safe Road while on their way to their hometown. The development is coming less than 24 hours after the bandits insisted that it will not accept any amount less than 5 million naira. As at the time of filing this report, spokesperson of the Zamfara Police Command, Mohammed Shehu, says he has no knowledge of the release of Colonel Yanduto and his children from the hands of their captors. And staying on security matters, barely 24 hours after 6 abductees of Edo Igueben train attack were released, police have now confirmed that one